Welcome to yet another episode of Applied Salesforce. This is part two of the micro project involving LDS. Part one, we discussed the create record scenario. And part two, we look at how we could read the record and display it in the UI, just like this. So when I've keyed in the details, I clicked on this button, I have the details displayed at the bottom. So without much ado, let's look at the code. So part one, we discussed the create scenario. So I'm not going to cover this part, okay, this part of the code, this portion of the code. And let's look at the view scenario. We start off with the lightning card. That's exactly what you see, the second lightning card, tagged at the bottom. And the key thing here is the lightning formatted elements and the important attribute, which is value, and it references accrec.account name and accrec.account website, accrec.account phone. So accrec is the object. It's an object that I defined inside the JavaScript, and it just references the properties account name, account website, and account phone containing the values read from the database. Okay, so let's look at the JavaScript code. We start off with importing the decorators, lightning element, track, and wire from LWC. And we also import the wire adapters, create record for the scenario one. And for this scenario, get record and get field value adapters we import from UI record API. Okay, and line number 12, we get a reference to one of those fields that we want to display using the schema scope package, and we create a fields array. And this could be done in two ways. One is referencing using the reference name from the schema, and others directly using the object API name dot field API name. So this altogether forms the fields array. Okay, and the property here is record ID, which is dynamic and reactive, which holds the ID of the record to be read. And we have the track decorator on the user-defined object, JavaScript object, account record, which holds the values that is read from the DB. And we use the wire adapter and the method getRecord, which takes in two properties, record ID and fields. Record ID is the record which needs to be read, and it is prefixed with dollar, which means it is dynamic. And the fields key takes the fields array that you have defined in line number 14. Okay, and once the record is read, we bind the returned value into the display fields value user defined function. It takes two parameters, error and data. In case of error, you log the error, and if it is successful, the read is successful, then you get into this block where we get the the raw field values from using get field value method. So data is exactly the record and which fields to read. So that's the second parameter, and you pump in those values into the object properties. Okay, and this is another way to reach the value. You can either use get field value or data.fields.website.value. Okay, so that sums up the JavaScript code. Important points to note is Salesforce recommends to always import the references to object and fields, like just like this, right? Using the schema scoped package, because this will ensure that reference fields actually exist and will unearth any issues in advance. And you can also see the record ID is prefixed with dollar that we discussed, because we wanted that to be dynamic, and which tells the component to provision new data whenever it is changed. Okay, so this sums up the definition and the code, and this one is what we discussed in video one, the part one of it. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Take care. Bye bye.